Greetings there, fellow Iron Teeth. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, episode 11, Monumental. We do have a little bit of homelessness. Get another barracks somewhere. Maybe here. I'm very much just like slapping them down, not really thinking too much about it. So the extra builders are certainly helping out. I'm going to unpause one of these breeding pods, because I only have one child now, and I am building an extra barracks. Yeah, we're getting the power grid connected up much faster this time around, which is great. Those extra builders. And I've decided to go with the Laborer Monument for well-being. I think it will provide a huge benefit for the colony. And I think I'll build it here. It takes a ton of just timber. But it has a huge sphere of influence, and that sphere of influence covers multiple rooftops, multiple campgrounds, almost all the barracks. So that's a big bang from a buck, I think. In building that, I'm going to want as much lumber as I can get. So the lumber mill flags over here, I think they cut down everything that is to cut down up here, so I'm just going to fire them all. Employ them as inventors. But that will be nice. And this Laborer Monument gives like a +3 to mood. There's not too much of the power grid left to build. We only have a small section left. Oh, yeah. Dynamite is ready down here. True. Except for there. That's not pathable, apparently. And dynamite is like, it could go in the water. It's fine. So if I wanted that pathable, I bet I could just do something like this. Because given the water levels, I don't think these blueberries are ever coming back. Oh, maybe it's too high. Or, yeah, it's probably too high. How much do I care about that? Probably not very much right now. Have a little island, it's fine. With the rest of the rest of the dynamite I have, I don't think it would be a bad idea to spend it to channel out the river a bit more. We'll get that underway. I will have to rebuild this power section, which is fine by me. And then also rebuild this path once everything else is ready to be channeled. Would it be a good goal to try to have a 2-wide river by the time water starts flowing again? We are a third into our drought now. So close. I think it's connected. It is. So, what's happening here is the gravity battery is releasing its mass, lowering it, and upon lowering it, providing power to the grid, so that anything connected to the grid is now being offered maximum power input. And then at night, what will happen when the production facilities are off? Oh, I can turn that off. When the production facilities are off, the engine will keep spinning, cranking the mass upwards to then store power at night. So here, as you can see, the numbers are going back up. And because of how high this gravity barrier is, its power potential is enormous. Because it's a huge drop that it can offer. So, awesome. Awesome, awesome. And that will keep everything in our colony running at peak productivity, even when droughts are happening, because it pairs really well with the engines. Much the way that RimWorld batteries work, I suppose. All right. Save to blast. Too far. That's funny. It's just not pathable. But they're literally right next to a builder's hut. I was like, I don't know if it's too far. It's just, you can't get there. The two things are not the same. The battery feature seems like a great addition to the game. It really is, yeah. Absolutely. Alright, now we can build this floodgate. Alright, so the current priority is channel out a two-eyed river. And I suppose build the labor monument? Which is a lower priority. I would like it, but it's one of those like, we'll get done as we cut down trees. I suppose I could add another tree flag here to cut more trees quicker. This looks ready to go. Detonate. I will have to remove access to the right side to be able to excavate here, meaning that these workplaces are going to be inaccessible, but I don't think anyone's stranded on the right side right now. Like, no one's stuck over here, so it's fine. Only have 6 dynamite saved up, so there's a limit to how much I can blast until I produce more. But it's running at 100%, so that's good. Oh, it actually has some explosives stocked in it. Oh, detonate. Some of this won't be pathable until we're done with the detonations. Oh, they are still saying it's unpathable. Yeah, that's probably because I don't have a path into the river, right? This sucks. I'm gonna have to put the stairs here or something. There we go. And then, last but not least, a path back to the other side. So this is... Luckily I have a ton of builders, so I can do building projects quickly. Got to get that going so that we can actually get people back to work, because I have some idleness right now that I'd like to solve. So what's happening right now is, because of the gravity battery and the engine has to run a lot more frequently, burning through a considerable amount of our wood stockpile. I haven't bothered to transition away from pine to oak only, but maybe the... Well, actually, a lot of these pines are new planted. But I think what... Well, not all of it. What I'll try to do is I'll slowly try to transition the pine over to oak to maximize the square foot tree measure, whatever. I'm making up words now. But I think you know what I mean. To maximize the amount of resources that we can get from each square meter of planted tree. Because I'm not really using resin. And once I, you know, at the point where I need resin, I'll start focusing on that differently. But I don't need resin just yet. Is that the right depth? It is. Cool. And then I think the water level in our reservoir is down 1, meaning that hypothetically the maximum drop of the gravity battery actually just increased as a result. Cool. The bridge is done. It's probably kind of unnecessary to max out the grav battery like I've been doing, just because we're not really using its full potential power, and I'm using dynamite to make it better, and it probably didn't need to be made better, but whatever. Also have quite a lot of science just because of all the inventors that I've got employed. So how about you guys decide on where I invest that research? I'm still backed up in the production plans. I'm still channeling rivers, but if you want me to spend it in well-being, food, production, power, science, or other, you guys can... This is more like how I should spend the science points more than anything else. But you guys pick. Now, the only worry I have with this is... So I might want to move where these floodgates are actually built. To... here instead, so that it doesn't have the potential to flood wrong. So I'm going to do that instead of building it here. Oh, and the water finally went dry. So I will at some point need to channel this out here and remove the path. So I'm just going to go do that now. They can get to the other side. It's just a much longer path. That means removing access for the power poles. So what I'm doing here is going to be super high priority, so there isn't, so we can get the gravity battery hooked back up ASAP. So voting for production. I don't really know how that would translate. There's not a lot of production. I guess efficient mining would be the only production left to unlock. Or Trapper Shack. Although I'm not really needing wood resin. So new goods or supply chain. Well, that doesn't correlate to research. But I'll think about that for a minute. I guess one way that I could have set up this bridging would be suspension bridges, which would stop the stoppages. But now that everything's been channeled out, that's kind of moot. Because you can blast underneath a suspension bridge and it doesn't block. Wow, we just got two... Oh, it's because the beaver statue got done. Ah, yes. I was like, what is going on? Why is everyone so much happier all of a sudden? But yeah, that beaver statue is a +3. I think what it's going to be is to build the Num Cruncher. Meaning that it's going to be to unlock anything required to do that? I don't know. I'll just... I polled, but I think it's one of those, like, it's just going to have to be up to my judgment. So we have maximum well-being reached. A new record. Not maximum, but a new record. Curious who's on the upper end. So some of the beavers are now rocking an 80% work speed. Which is awesome. And hopefully the builders get done setting up the dynamite so we can blast. And then rebuild the bridges. There we go. Now there's not a risk of it like spilling over and becoming a mess. It's a lot of platforms I'll need to build here. One could make the argument that like a suspension bridge 1 would have made sense. Maybe, well actually the suspension bridge 1 wouldn't work here anyway. I'll unlock it just because it's really cheap. So what the suspension bridge allows you to do is just to bridge a gap. Actually the 2 suspension bridge would work here. So I'll build a 2 suspension bridge just to demonstrate it. So it allows you to bridge a gap like that, where you don't have platforms underneath. It doesn't, of course, work for power poles. So it wouldn't have helped me with the power poles. Because you can't build power poles on a bridge, but it does help for traversing terrain. And if it's deep enough, it would be economical. You know, given the amount of planks required for the platform. The reason I couldn't build 2 on one side by side is, and I'll show you, the bridges require a straight section on the other side, which I don't have here. So I would have to destroy this path, and then the bridge would then link to where the door is on this inventor. So I'd have to destroy all the inventors, and then indent the road. So a 1 deep would not work for that reason. I would have to retool or redesign the road systems around it. I'll show you. I'll show you here. See? If I built a bridge on the other side, then the road terminates here instead. Not flush with the with the edge of the river. So that's why doing a 1 by 1 on each side is not a great solution. I do have more dynamite, so let's keep channeling. The remaining channel is like this. Plus that. The parts that I want done first would be these parts, because they have buildings to replace where they are. Oh, and a new record. And in 4 days, we'll have running water. So I think there's a very real possibility of me finishing the channel with the days remaining, so that we can actually have a running river by the time water starts flowing again, which would be cool. So we got floodgates at the back, floodgates in the middle, and then these floodgates up top. There's a clear channel all the way back, all the way throughout the entire river. So at this point, when the water starts flowing, I can actually allow water to run the course of the channel. There's nothing stopping that now. I may, for the aesthetics at some point, replace this bridge with a suspension bridge, just because they're prettier. It would be entirely a cosmetic project. But given that I have the resources and work power to do it, I think once this alternative path is built, that's what I'll do. And really, realistically, I can have aquatic pathing too, right? Like I could have stairs down here, or even, well, I'd prefer it this way so that I can walk the river. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason why the beavers can't just swim too. Alright, so we're not too many dynamite away from having this excavated. Let's go ahead and do that suspension bridge. I think it might actually... Ooh, I maybe have deleted rubble. It might actually save me materials in the end. No, it doesn't quite. But at least it will look nice. The Lido is still watered. Oh, and yeah, these bombs. I did not forget. So now the vertical drop here is 32,000. That will become, I think, 30,000 or 28,000 once the water level is a little bit higher. Because obviously the weight can't be dropped into the water, but that goes clear to the reservoir now. Pretty min-maxed. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more dynamite until the river's channeled out. For a 1 deep. As you can imagine, making it deeper because we're sending power over it. It's too bad that there's no There's no such thing as like a power bridge the way there is a suspension bridge. But yeah, if we want to make the water even deeper, we could. It would just require some power disruptions to the gravity battery, which would be fine if we had running water. Because when we have running water, we don't really need the gravity battery to feed the grid. So during times of running water, you know, we can do the retrenching for deeper deeper rivers. That wouldn't be much of a problem. Now up to 40 gears for the Num Cruncher. Let's go ahead and make another few small warehouses. I'm not gonna, these are gonna be in dumb spots. I'm just throwing them in. But this is to offer up additional gear storage for the Num Cruncher, so that we can store more gears, produce more gears, and get closer to that Num Crunch goal. So these are sort of like temporary warehouses, just to raise our capacity. Because I haven't really decided where to put the Num Cruncher itself. A risky midday detonation. Now we're only two... Oh, there's the last dynamite. Or our last explosive. One more day. And then it's running water again. We are channeled. All the floodgates are set to the correct heights. So I can't wait. All of that hard work should be paying off in a minute. Awesome. So, talking about the Num Cruncher, this thing... Where do we want to put this thing? So this thing requires mechanical power. It's big. You know, we could just stick it here. Right? Because that's like right next to the power network. It's out of the way. Should be fine. I don't know what sections of it need mechanical power. Like, I don't... Maybe we can feed it in like this. Because I haven't built one of these things before. So we'll see if this works. We'll stick a little power T section there. And if that doesn't work, then I'll have to do like a vertical power shaft. But we will see. The current priority is build the Num Cruncher. And that should help grinding out the remaining science that we have need. The 25 metal blocks, no problem. We got that in spades. And then 100 gears we're working on. So with the current science that we have right now, what would benefit us? I'm going to get a beaver statue. Just to raise productivity within the colony. I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm going to put one here. And then put one here. I'll build 2 beaver statues. Because we have some extra metal from the smelter. And then we... drought has ended. So water should be flowing in the river any second. In the waterfall. I'm gonna stop the engine to see if the gravity battery... So I just kind of want to see the gravity battery drop, right? Like, we really haven't seen it drop very far. I might actually need to turn on the engine We'll see. It depends on whether water starts flowing or the gravity battery runs out of potential energy. But it's kind of cool to see like an elevator. That'd actually be really neat. Is like a water powered or mechanically powered elevator for beavers to go vertical. It might not be a good introduction yet into the game's mechanics because there's not a lot of maps with like a huge vertical difference yet. But you know, food for thought for future development. So these beaver statues increase the aesthetics within 3 tiles, and that oh, our Lido ran out of water. That should raise the average well-being up a bit. And there it goes, 25. Fermenters are out of soybeans? Okay, whatever. This is out of materials, but I know, because we're working on the gears. So, given that, I'm just going to get rid of these temporary gear sheds, because we don't need them anymore. And fire 2 of the builders. Or, you know, I can have the builders be the lowest priority, and then have these science inventors be, like, low priority. So that whatever builders are left over get hired. So there's the flowing water of the river all the way out of the map. Everything on the northeast section... Well, actually, there's a little piece that isn't irrigated. Just a little. I think if the water was deeper, it would be irrigated. I'm just going to flood things for a second to see if that is the case. I think it's actually... it's not irrigated because of verticality. So if I wanted that section irrigated, I could actually just bomb it, lower it, and it would become watered. I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm not going to use my dynamite that way. But I think that would actually functionally work. Because it's just the vertical level difference between the water and the grass. The other thing that we could obviously do now is to set up water wheels along this 2 river. Because it flows. You know, it's pretty fast flowing. Oh boy. Yes, I forgot to do something kind of important, which is to adjust my floodgates for post-drought levels. So, just a minute. We're going to have... there we go. So now the water wheels are adding, or cranking this gravity battery back up to its high mark. Which is what we want it to do. I would like to start saving up for the Monument of Unity. Oh, and there we go. We just hit 26. Boom. Things are looking up. So let's try to find someone with the highest well-being. So here's someone to 27. So we've got someone to 28. No, I think 27 is the highest. So taking a look at the 27s. They are 3 points away from 100% work tier. They are 5 points away from extra movement speed. And 10 points away from longer life. Oh, and another drought. Man, that did not... There was not a lot of time between droughts. I mean, that's hard mode in a nutshell. It's just like constant threat of droughts. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, shoot. Because the aquifer dried out here, these dandelions died, so I'll have to replant them. Oh, God, and we have another flood. It takes a minute for, like, water levels and flow to normalize so that you don't get, like, random periodic flooding. Just how it is. So let's say I wanted more production, because I do. I'm tired of waiting for the numb cruncher. So I'm going to nuke this water storage and move it over a little bit. I'll just set water storage up like here. I'll just put in a lot of water storage because it doesn't hurt to have a lot of water storage. I don't have bigger tanks unlocked just yet, but at some point maybe that will get done. So let's try to get planks and gear ramped up a bit, so I have more planks and gears to work with. And then with all of the additional dynamite I have, one thing that I could just use the dynamite for is to lower the water level in the aquifer to have more potential water during bad drought. So just line it full of explosives and let it rip. We could do that eventually where the blueberries are as well. And just because I'm sometimes a perfectionist, not always, I will do it over here as well, where we have a weird peak thing. Get rid of that as well. Nice and flat, deep aquifer. Deep aquifer keeps beavers happy. It might... Oh, no, that's just probably because I removed all the water storage. So I'll make sure to haul the water into the tanks so that it's drinkable. We had some beavers that were thirsty, but I don't think... I think that's just because I am moving the tanks. Alright, things are looking good. One of the things that you may have noticed is when I did the explosions, the water level dropped. Which also means that if I do enough explosions, the water wheels will actually stop spinning briefly until the aquifer can fill back up for all the blasting that was done. Which isn't a problem because of the gravity battery that we have, but just let you know that happens from time to time. Pretty close to having that numb cruncher. And yeah, I like the look of this little district up here. This little science district. Science and religion together. Odd combination. Not unheard of. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 2nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video or at Rhadamant.com. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow beavers.